The Lions have produced three victories with a 35-point differential through the first 10 games of the season. The only other NFL teams to do that, the 1973 Atlanta Falcons and the 1969 Minnesota Vikings.
Wow. Jeez.
Purple people eaters.
We're not talking about, this is the first time they've done that in Lions history.
Vikings were NFL champions that year.
Of course it is the first time the Lions have ever done that in franchise history. We're saying they joined the 73 Falcons and the 69 Vikings.
Vikings represented the NFL in the Super Bowl that year.
And lost.
Yeah, they lost to the Chiefs.
The reason why I know that is because Vikings never won a Super Bowl.
Correct, 0-4.
There you go.
How do you explain what we're witnessing? You know, when I woke up this morning, I was going through all these notes and going through all the post-game sound and just really having a night to sleep on it and collect my thoughts. I thought of KG and Pete Spivak. Good afternoon to you guys as well.
Good afternoon.
When I woke up this morning, I thought about that butt kicking yesterday at Ford Field and how many mornings you woke up like the Jacksonville Jaguar fans are waking up this morning. Mm-hmm. How many mornings have you had the feeling that Jaguars fans are waking up to this morning? And you watch that game with envy, and you're like, I wonder what it would be like to be able to do that to another NFL team. I wonder what it would feel like to be on the other side of that. And now that the Detroit Lions are and our fans are, it's just incredible to experience what we're experiencing, and you just got to enjoy the ride week in and week out.
Can I tell you something? The first year that Dan Campbell was there, I remember the game. It was against the Ravens, and that's when Justin Tucker hit that. How long was it?
66 yarder after 4th and 19.
Right. You remember how the Lions let them off the hook that game? I was so low after that game, and I remember saying it to my wife. I'm like, we're just never, ever going to win. We're never going to win. That was as low as I felt. I felt low for a long, long time being a Lion fan. That 2014 playoff game that they stole from us, that hurt. But that game, that Ravens game, ever since then, really, it's been up. Everything has been up. That's the year that they ran out and they almost made the freaking playoffs.
Right.
It's just remarkable how you never ever thought that we as Lion fans would be sitting here today talking about this team. We have the perfect team. If there's such a thing as a perfect team, we have it. Even with the freaking injuries, we have it.
Yeah, I mean, it truly is a perfect team. You look at last year and the year before that, the offense could score points. You know, you see what Jared Goff was able to do against the Chargers on the road last year and David Montgomery, but the Chargers also scored points. You look at the Seattle game last year. You look at there's always a team where you trust the offense, but it's like, dang, it's only a matter of time before the defense gives too much. It's not the case this year. It's on both sides of the ball. They're playing great. On offense, they just have so many different types of weapons, different kinds of weapons. You look at the speed of Jamison Williams. You look at the presence. I told you Amon-Ra was going to have a big game.
Yeah,
I told you he was going to have a big game. But you look at how he runs the routes. You look at how he finds the spots, how he and Jared Goff have that chemistry that Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes have. They just know where to be. You look at the tight ends. It just doesn't seem to matter what tight ends they put in the game. Zylstra, Brock Wright, they get it done. The offensive line, interchangeable parts that still have managed to be the number one offensive line, in my opinion, over the last 2 to 3 years. And then you look at Jared Goff. He's finding ways to be that quarterback that we asked him to be, the leaders in different situations. They just don't have any holes on that offense. And on defense, they're only getting stronger and stronger. And my guy, Kirby Joseph, and then Brian Branch.
That was right in front of me. I saw that thing the whole way. I saw him trailing. Yeah.
It's crazy. These safeties, the best in the league, the best tandem, they're all over the place. They're in the same spots. You see Brian Branch raise up with one hand, and you're like, oh, he almost got to wait. No, Kirby Joseph behind it, intercepts it. Also won my parlay. I appreciate that because Jameer got the next carry. But they just don't seem to have any weakness on the offensive side of the ball. And defense, they're gaining momentum and confidence, and they're playing better.
Goff threw 5 incompletions. 3 of them he threw down on the ground. He didn't want to even play.
Yeah.
Dead play.
Smart
so
plays.
really, he missed 2. He was 11 for 11 with St. Brown. 11 for 11. And St. 8 straight games with a touchdown. 8.
That also is a franchise record. I will say For the Detroit Lions, now, after you see a performance like that, after you see what they've been able to do so far to this season to every opponent, sans the Tampa Bay Bucks in Week 2, doesn't this
They
now
doubled their yards that game.
Doesn't this now become, if it hasn't been already, aren't you there by now that this is a Super Bowl or bust season?
Absolutely.
There is no other way to look at it.
That's
It's not.
instantly what I
It's
thought
not making it to an NFC Championship. It's not making it to a Super Bowl. It is winning the Super Bowl, and anything less is a absolute disappointment, I would think, at this point in the season. Do you agree with that?
Yep.
Let us know in the chat. Braylon Edwards, where do you stand with that?
I do. We talked about this last week or maybe the week before, and we said, what is the reality? I said 16-1. 16-1 is the reality. That's where we're there. There's no team that's better than the Lions going down the stretch, including a team we'll talk about who beat the Chiefs yesterday. But now you look at it, they just have it on all sides of the ball, too. Special teams is phenomenal. You look at Jake Bates, yet again, makes another field goal, extra points as well. Like, a smart bet would be to bet on his overs, like Travis Mathis told us. But special teams, defense, the coordinators are locked in, the players are locked in. Who's going to beat them? Is it going to be the Chiefs? No. Is it going to be the Bills? No. Like, it's Super Bowl.
But the two teams you mentioned right now are AFC teams as well. Does anybody, and I guess that anybody would only be the Philadelphia Eagles at this point.
Yeah, 100% in their eyes.
Yeah, thanks, Giants. The Giants made that freaking team.
Well, Saquon Barkley, I guess letting Saquon Barkley go to their rival, there's no doubt. But
fraudulent.
Can the Eagles? I mean, are we? Do we look past the Eagles at this point?
I wouldn't look past the Eagles, but here it lies. At the end of the day, if you want to go like talent for talent in terms of the players, then fine. The Eagles match up against the Lions. They're the only roster in the NFC, not including the 49ers because of injury and other stuff, that matches up with the Lions. But when you look across that sideline to the guy wearing the headset, Nick Sirianni is in no type of category to what Dan Campbell is, and I think that's where the great equalizer is. Talent, sure, even though Jared Goff's a much better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. But you talking about Nick Sirianni versus Dan Campbell? I'm taking Thunder Dan every time.
You hit it on the head. Plus our coordinator, and Aaron Glenn. You think? I know the Eagles have a very good defensive line.
They do.
Really good.
They do.
But you think that line is going to beat our offensive line? No, they're not. They might get in one or two times. By then, the Eagles can't stay with the Lions. I don't care if they even play in Philly, which they won't. They won't play in Philly. Indoors, Lions will run them off the field.
Eagles struggle too much in the opening of games. I know this is about the Lions and not the Eagles, but they struggle. It just seems like Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni cannot get on the same page. And when they start to play well, it's in the second half, which is usually a field. That's a player field situation that, once again, goes back to a coach that doesn't know what he's doing for the first part of the game.
7 games left. 4 of the 7 come against NFC North opponents. You've got 2 against the Bears. Bears are done, obviously. You've got that home game against
yesterday.
You've got that home game against the Packers on Thursday night. You finish the season with the Vikings. In between, you have a road game at Indianapolis. You've got the Buffalo Bills at home, which could be a preview of the Super Bowl. Yeah. And you've got the 49ers on the road who look dead and buried. Yeah. So say what you want about the schedule. There's no team on there, including the Buffalo Bills, that the Detroit Lions are not going to be a favorite against. And there's no team on this schedule that you believe
is better
than them.
Yeah, not at all.
And I think yesterday what happened in Kansas City, it just caught up. Kansas City has not been playing good football at all. If you watch their games, they have been escaping. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying 9-1 are some terrible record or that they're some bad football team. I'm not. But they are not as dominant as I think their record would indicate. And it caught up to them yesterday. They've got to play perfect football to win games. And against inferior opponents, Patrick Mahomes can do his wizardry. But against a good team, you can't make any mistakes. And they made a lot of mistakes yesterday.
I heard somebody say this, and I think this sums it up well, is the Chiefs aren't the best team in terms of talent. Like, you look at the offense and talent. Obviously, we give Patrick Mahomes all the credit. But if you look from player to player, all the way down offense, they're not the most talented offensive league. What they are is they're the best situational team. And when you're playing, like you said, 9 games, 10 games in a row, where you're coming down to the last moment, at some point, those situations, you're going to run into a better team and you're just not going to be able to get it done. And that's what happened yesterday. Buffalo Bills, they just were a better team than the Chiefs yesterday, to your point. I don't know if that means the Chiefs lose to the Bills in the playoffs, but right now they were a better team. That running game that they do, that's how they've been so good. Josh Allen hasn't had to play hero ball. He's been able to run the ball. He's been able to run the ball, hand the ball off. What do the Lions do best, though? They stop the run.
Chiefs are getting their running back.
Isaiah Pacheco, 100%.
Pacheco's coming back. That's going to help.
The Lions stop the run. That plays right into what the Lions do to Buffalo Bills, so that's why I don't believe in them. But, yeah.
No doubt.
The Lions still got to rush the passer a little bit better. They do.
Yeah, no, they absolutely do. And, Zadarius Smith did get to the quarterback yesterday, and he did, but he got to him.
Yep.
When the only thing you could do as a defense at that point is keep them out of the end zone, not let them score touchdowns. That was kind of, I think, what the defense was fighting for at that point, and they got to stop. Absolutely. And let me take you inside the locker room. Here's Dan Campbell with an incredible message.
Hey, that's a hell of a job, man. It's a hell of a job. I'm going to go back to what I said last night. Man, when you have talented football players, and they are made of the right kind of stuff. They are made of the right kind of stuff. And those guys come together, you have a collective willpower that you can make the game any way you want it to go. You can do that. That's exactly what you guys did. You came out after a rough game last week. We found a way to win, and we weren't having it today, man. You guys willed that game the way you wanted it, and we have that ability. Remember that. Remember that. That gets us to 9. I've got all kinds of notes, man. This thing turned into something. It's unbelievable. Here's the biggest thing, though. Offensively, man, we set a team record. 645 yards after kneel downs. 645 yards on offense, all right, and 38 first downs. Those are team records, gentlemen. Give those guys a hand, huh? So it goes without saying, everybody on offense is going to get a damn game ball, all right? Everybody. Now, inside of that, I just want to make this point. Our quarterback was 24-29, 412 yards, 4 touchdowns, a perfect quarterback rating, 158.3, all right, with 4 rushes for 21 yards. Another highlight here. All right, this guy had 11 receptions on 11 targets, 161 yards, 2 tugs, Mr. St. Brown. Defense gave up 170 yards. 170 yards. All right, 645 to 170. That's how you play ball, man, back at our house. It's outstanding. All right, I'm going to highlight these players here. 3 total tackles, 1 interception, Mr. Kirby. Get this man a ball. Get this man a ball.
Hey, man, I love this team, man. We put in the work for this, man. Hey, on to the next. I love y'all boys.
Man, he's kind of been a bell cow for us. He really had to take over today, all right, with what happened. This guy had 9 total tackles, 1 TFL, had a half sack, plays his ass off every week. Violent player, smart player, relentless Jack Campbell.
I just want to say I appreciate every single person in this room. You've poured so much into me as an individual, and that's the only way I feel like each individual in this room works is everything you got, every single play, give it your all. This team's special, and I'm excited to keep going. So.
Yes. The sky is the limit, man. The sky's the limit. That's number 9. All right, we're about to hit the backstretch. We are close. We're about to hit the backstretch, and we're on to the Colts. All right, great win. Like it down.
Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect, come on.
Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Hey. Great team win. On to the next. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
What a team. What a moment. And that's exactly what championship teams do against inferior opponents. It just is. You beat TA, as Kirby Joseph says, you know. Yeah. You beat that, you know what. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They come to your house and you beat them 52-6. That's what you do.
You think they dug it in a little? And let me just bring it up.
Bring it up, Maz.
You're up 40. You're up 40. And Dan Campbell throwing a red flag on a play. That was overturned. It could have been a catch, but it wasn't. It hit the ground. It forced them to punt. I just felt like okay, all right. I guess throw the red flag. We're up 40. I laugh it off. I'm not a wuss, guys. I'm not.
You're not?
I'm not. I'm not, but I mean, come on, man.
I mean, they took the starters out. That was about as good as you was going to get, man.
They played the starters into the fourth quarter, by the way.
So be it.
I think they finished the drive because we were going to leave after the third quarter.
The Kirby Joseph interception drive.
And then they finished the drive. That's what happened. Because we left after that touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Too much. I mean.
Well, I mean,
no, man.
I would say no, and the reason why I would say no is because that has been happening to them.
Thank you
for decades.
Thank you. They was kicking us while we was down.
It has been. I mean, when you are the laughing stock of an entire league for the better part of 60 years. Maybe you mix in a year here, and you mix in a player
like 3
here.
years in 60 years.
Yeah.
Mix in 3 years.
Yeah.
That's it.
When you're the laughing stock, when you're lumped in as the worst organization in sports with the likes of the Clippers and stuff like that, no, it's not too much. And as Kirby Joseph says, come in here and play better football.
Yeah.
You don't want that to happen to you?
Blank.
Come in here and play better football,
Stop
Bray.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I don't think it's a problem, man. Look, my little league coach used to tell me, look, you got to play until the clock strikes zero, and that's what these Lions teams are doing. You saw your guys got in, Vaki got to carry, Hendon got in there, but they want to finish out their drive, and they challenge the play. But when you get in these games, you get these situational opportunities to make sure you're in practice for all things necessary. So they took a chance, they challenged it didn't go their way. You live to fight another day. I don't think it's too much, though, man.
I got some sound from Carlton Davis.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear this?
Yeah.
And Kirby Joseph did one, too. But I figured this is enough. Here's Carlton Davis on, hey, are you guys digging it in?
Don't you have the mindset of, then stop us. It's not our job.
Oh, yeah. Like, if people got problems with what we're doing or complaining about it, then they could just come out here and play better football. Or they could, that's the only thing, that's the only problem. That's the only fix to this problem,
right.
Just come out here, and we're welcoming it, too. Like, we don't shy away from nothing. We're going at you whether you want to, whether you're good or bad. We're going at you the same way every week.
Does it make you chuckle a little bit, though? Because a couple weeks ago, Xavier McKinney's like, oh, they're embarrassing teams out there. I mean, just stop us, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I guess you can, laugh at it, but at the same time, it's serious business. Like, it's not as if we're taking it for a joke. Like, this is serious business, and, when you come to our stadium, when you know we're coming out to play you guys, take it serious because we're bringing everything we got. So that's the message.
Thank you.
Nobody complained when the 49ers for the last 6-7 years have been dominating and destroying teams. Now, the Chiefs win games, but they don't dominate. The 49ers have dominated and destroyed this league. What was that record? Teams after playing the 49ers, it was 0-16 or 0-17 in terms of what they were doing. They were winning. They were beating you up physically. They come out and they play on all cylinders. That's why I don't have a problem with it. There's not a lot of showboating out there. They celebrate like everybody else does in the end zone. But between those hashes, they're where they're supposed to be. You call them the missile. Look at where Brian Branch is, instilling that fear into the opposition. And then on offense, if you're out of place, Jared Goff's going to make you play.
Yep.
If you overstep, Jahmyr Gibbs to the house, see you later. If you're not in the right spot, don't forget Jameson Williams is also a 4-2 wide receiver. They're doing the things they're supposed to do, and it just happens to turn into 52-6.
I'm not complaining. I'm just bringing up what people are saying.
And I think it's worth the conversation. I absolutely do, because some of the people that are, just I don't want to say unaware, but just don't have the full context as to why the Lions might be playing to the whistle. But this is who they are as well. They're not giving up plays. They're not giving up games. They're not giving up quarters. They're not giving up series. They're not giving up anything. But they're not. They're not going to give you anything. You have to earn everything you get. They're not giving anybody on this team playing time. You have to earn your playing time.
You know what that does? It spooks the opposition when you play against, man. It's the offensive coordinators that have to coach against that. It's the defensive coordinators. It's the players. They even are good players. They're like, now they're pressing because everything has to be perfect to beat this Lions team. You're now beating teams before you get on the field. Yep. Guys are overthinking, okay, I got to make this play because if I don't make this play, now you drop an easy catch. Now you miss a wide open pass because I got to put it right in there because if I don't, I know the Lions are going to score when they get the ball. You're beating teams now, and this is how you do it, and still that fear.
Championship teams don't play down to their competition.
And you got
no doubt.
And this is something that we was talking about to begin the year. Would the Lions be complacent? No, they aren't complacent. They treat everybody the same. It's equal opportunity butt whippings going around. They treat the Titans as if they're the Chiefs. They treat the Jags as if they're the Ravens. They don't play down to anybody. Crazy. I love that.
That's good, Kenny.
I thought I I thought I knew how they were going to come out yesterday, and they came out as if how I thought. I said
they scored in every possession.
I said on Fox.